and far greater Islamist radicals, clerics, are being allowed a free passage into Dhaka to go ahead and spew their venom and vitriol amongst the masses. In the middle of all this is a person who's a Nobel Peace Laureate. And the charge against him is of weaponizing the judiciary against his political opponents, and while using the same judiciary to turn around charges, proven charges of graft, for which he was pronounced guilty as of the 1st of January 2024. A man who says that he upholds judiciary and respects it is currently accused, as per the Rights Watch, as per the rightsrisk.org, of forcing nearly 21 judges to resign, including the Chief Justice of Bangladesh. Now, as per the state machinery that collapsed, what followed was unprecedented. Bangladesh's vacuum opened a playground for Pakistan's terror tanzeems. With law enforcement paralyzed, foreign radicals slipped in effortlessly. Pak-linked operatives thriving in the worst security meltdown in the country seen in years. Now, terror fronts rebranded, revived and reorganized in this chaos. A total law and order breakdown, creating safe zones where extremist cells could regroup. Looting armories, quickly turning into fresh supply hubs for radical networks. And it didn't stop there. Prison breaks and mass releases flooded the terror pipeline. Now, in the anarchy that followed, foreign handlers have set up new routes, and the state vacuum has allowed cross-border propaganda cells to flourish unhindered. An interim government struggling to establish control, its weak grip enabling militant infiltration deeper than ever before. And as Bangladesh unraveled, so did the firewall against extremists and extremism. Failed governance, giving Pakistan-linked networks a free pass. With borders unpoliced and mobs ruling the streets, radical groups surging back. Old tanzeems regaining ground and foreign funding channels reactivated in this entire turmoil. In fact, Mohammad Yunus under scrutiny, as there are 4 major charges that raise deep concerns over governance: accountability and financial transparency. Charge 1. Yunus is accused of violating the Grameen Bank ordinance, which claims that he operated outside the legal framework meant to govern the microfinance institution he founded. Charge 2. He faces allegations of misusing trust funds for personal benefit. Charge 3. Questions have also emerged over asset irregularities in the handling and reporting of foundation properties, with auditors pointing to inconsistencies in valuation, disclosures and control. Charge 4. And finally, Yunus is under scrutiny for irregularities in foreign donation accounts, including issues of compliance, transparency and the lawful management of overseas funds. So, is a Nobel laureate weaponizing the judiciary? The numbers emerging from the past year paint a stark, disturbing picture. Political opponents charged 5,16,327. The source is rightsrisk.org. Over 500,000 cases filed against those seen as critics or rivals. 878 journalists attacked. Reporters, editors, media workers targeted, threatened or assaulted, raising grave concerns over press freedom. The Cyber Security Act cases itself count up to 51. Laws meant for digital safety are allegedly being used to silence dissenting voices online. 2,485 recorded attacks on minorities. Communities targeted, homes torched, places of worship vandalized. 21 judges forced to resign. A judiciary under pressure, with resignation signaling possible intimidation and erosion of institutional independence. 637 mob lynching deaths. Lawlessness spreading across the country as the justice system falters. And perhaps the most telling indicator, NHRC members, National Human Rights Commission members, all of them forced to resign. The very institution meant to defend human rights has been dismantled. So how did Mohammad Yunus weaponize the judiciary? Cases against Mohammad Yunus vanished within days of the power shift. So 5th of August 2024, the shift happens, and within 3 to 4 days, the entire graft charges, all the cases done away with. Files that had moved slowly for years were suddenly dismissed, one after the other. ACC and Labour Court cases were cleared at unusual, unprecedented speed. And this is all with the freshly appointed, pliable lawyers who have not been appointed there in an independent system or a democratic system set up. All the previous judges were asked to resign, including the Chief Justice. They were terminated, services terminated. Investigations that typically take months, even years, were wrapped up in days. What was the hurry to do this, especially when one of the labour courts had convicted him? CNN News 18 is in possession of the judgment copy, 1st of January 2024, and it's also chronicled in Bangladesh media that he was pronounced guilty of violating labour laws of Bangladesh and defrauding the shareholders, the people, of money that was due to them. And he was charged a personal fine too. Now, foreign donations, trust-related cases quietly disappeared from the docket. Observers flagged what they called fast-track relief for Mohammad Yunus. Legal files moved from active to close overnight with little public explanation, raising questions about transparency, motive, and judicial independence. And through it all, the opposition alleged selective justice under the interim rule, claiming the judiciary was being used not for accountability but for the protection of one man. Let's try and go across to our guests at this point. There are multiple parts. We'll also come back to the overall human rights violations and what this all stands. Joining us this evening, Ambassador Deepak Vora, former diplomat. Dr. Anand Ranganathan is with us. But first, I'm going to go across to Barrister Masood Akhtar, Advocate, Appellate Division of the Bangladesh Supreme Court and former Chief Legal Advisor of the Grameen Bank, Bangladesh. Barrister Masood Akhtar, thank you for your time. We are also hoping to be joined by Mohammad Ali Siddiqui, human rights activist, and he was also the head of the Human Rights Council, the Bangladesh Human Rights Watch, and he's written a long note to the Secretary General of the UN headquarters on the 5th of November 2025. I have this entire note. We're hoping for Mohammad Ali Siddiqui also to join us in a bit. But Barrister Masood Akhtar, your charges were rebutted. You filed a case against Mohammad Yunus, and he's also trying to come after you. Please tell us what's happening in Bangladesh.
Thank you for having me. My greetings to all your audience who are listening and watching these programs. As I am speaking to you from actually United Kingdom, London, because I had to leave the country on 8th of August 2024 because Dr. Yunus took oath, and with the precautions and the advice of the people with me, I took the decision to leave the country. And prior to that, I was working as the Chief Legal Advisor of Grameen Bank. And when Dr. Yunus took over the power, and I know from my research and from my understanding, he will come after me. Because Dr. Yunus, if you want to understand Dr. Yunus, because I have done comprehensive research on Dr. Yunus. So to understand him, he's a person with a personal grudge, a person who will take revenge in a very micro level. He will take revenge in a micro level. So that's why, being a lawyer, many of my legal colleagues from my fraternity, from opposition, from the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, from other political parties, those supports, I have no problem with them. I'm a lawyer. But why I had to take this decision to leave my practice and everything in there? Because I knew Dr. Yunus's inside workings, how he operates. Because he's a very vindictive person. And it was the right decision. Because many people told me, you are just a lawyer, why he will come after you? Because if you look back, during the time of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, his lawyer, Mr. Abdullah Mamun, was shouting, means verbally abusing the Prime Minister, everyone. And there's no legal action against him because it is normally understood. That is, if you are a lawyer, you represent your client. Whatever you speak on behalf of your client. So your personal liability is not there. But Dr. Yunus doesn't understand this, that you have seen this 15 months of his regime. That is one thing he doesn't understand. That is called rule of law. Dr. Yunus believes that is he is above the rule of law. So whoever he wants to take action, he will come after. And look at the scenario, the way he has conducted this 15 months, 15 days, the complete mob justice, mob violence everywhere, judiciary, our bureaucracy, our military, everywhere, what he has brought in, lawlessness. Rule of law completely absent from there.
But
And
aren't
his
you
way
giving?
of
But aren't you
governing
giving? But Barrister Saab, let me ask you: aren't you giving too much power to one very simple octogenarian who's a Nobel Peace Laureate? He's done everything for Bangladesh. He has no money of his own. That's what everybody says.
unfortunately, this is a myth. Back in 2024, in June, I conducted a press conference after Dr. Yunus's press conference because he brought some allegation against us. At that press conference, I explained to the people that is whatever we are bringing the allegation against him, these are based on fully evidence based. We are not lying. We are not bringing anything against him. Now they come to the issue. That is, you will see he's thinking when he, NORAD, we might know a organization called NORAD, a Norwegian development organization, which actually raised the alarm bell in international level against his corruption at the first time. And in NORAD, in his defense, he is telling that he has done that to avoid taxes. This is a guy who doesn't want to pay tax. Tax avoidance is in his blood. He is a guy who wants to operate beyond the estate operations. Estate needs taxation. Estate will be, if you work in any state, any civilized states, there will be taxation system. And he wants to avoid that system completely. And regarding his wealth and assets, what we have gathered, that is, he has used wealth and assets, but he has disguised. I have shown once in Bangladesh television a diagram which was put forward, which you can also still find in Bangladesh Bank's report. Bangladesh Bank's report is still, this document is available, a Bangladesh Bank's review report, in where it has shown how Dr. Yunus has actually funneled the money from Grameen Bank, from Grameen Phone to his personal gain. So these all evidences are there. That's why when he took over the power, his first job, what we heard from the internal things, he actually made sure that all these evidences are disappeared from the Grameen Bank so that nobody can hands on it. When we came out from the Grameen Bank, couldn't take many of the evidences, but still he destroyed most of the evidences. And during 2011 to 2018, his cronies were in power in Grameen Bank, were serving as managing directors and various capacities, and they also destroyed many evidences. Still, the evidences we found, which are convincing evidence, how Dr. Yunus has operated. Dr. Yunus is a man with lots of luxuries and friends, but what it is, I coined a term for him, for which when he filed a case against me, in that case, only allegation against me, in a press conference, I have told him, quote unquote, pathological liar. He was so offended with this term. But I think after 15 months, the whole country, whole world will say he's a pathological liar.
All right.
He can't speak the truth.
So, Barrister Masood, you say that he's not as simple as he seems to be, and he's not as poor and people's person as he seems to be.
Because he operates the way he operates. He has a way of his funds. Look, I'll give an example where the NORAD comes in play. NORAD gives the money to Grameen Bank through Bangladesh ERD. This comes from the Ministry of Finance, and then fund goes to Grameen Bank for loan purposes for the poor.
Right.
Now what he does, he transferred that money, he created some illegal entities, which he doesn't have power to create under the Grameen Bank ordinance. That's called Grameen Kollan. Now Grameen Kollan, this fund remains seated in Grameen Bank. Look, the fund remains seated in the Grameen Bank, but officially he has transferred the fund to Grameen Kollan. Now, Grameen Kollan give that money as a loan to Grameen Bank and charge 2% interest. So, If I give you that wave, how he operates, then how this all funds goes to his trust, his personal trust, and his wealth, it is a very complex and
So
very
it's not
way.
just graft. It's also deceiving the people of Bangladesh openly. Is what you are charging. That's your charge. I've just got Mohammad Ali Siddiqui, Dr. Ranganathan, Ambassador Deepak Vora also with us. There are many parts to this. Mohammad Ali Siddiqui Saab, thank you for your time. I'm just going to quickly come to you also. You have written this long letter on the 5th of November 2025 where you've appealed for an independent investigation into the OHCHR's Bangladesh report, and this is addressed to the Secretary General of the UN headquarters. Why have you raised this issue? Because what you have done is you have QR coded article by article, instance by instance of what has happened under Mohammad Yunus and in Bangladesh.
Yes, thank you. Let me joining your popular show over here. We wrote this letter to the Secretary General and the 6 other human rights organizations who addressed this recent letter to Dr. Mohammad Yunus, addressing some issues that he violated. So we gave the proof and part by part the answer. And the daily popular media, especially Daily Star, Pratham Alo, and the other foreign entities that describe these issues, this provided them. My question is that Yunus is popularly using the media, paying lump sum money to them, and portrayed himself an innocent person. He is a crooked, dishonest, corrupt person who uses his name and fame with the Western, friends, particularly Clinton family and some other Nobel laureates, and using the Grameen Bank as his own institutions. So we need to portray his real face to the world, that who he is. So that is our presentation to the UN, to the OHCHR, and the other four other organizations, including the lawmakers of the USA, all the senators, congressmen. We sent this letter as well.
Now, you've sent this letter, but is there going to be any action? How has he endeared himself to the West if he is not above board? Why does the West believe that Bangladesh is better off under Mohammad Yunus's interim regime, and there will be free and fair elections under him rather than under Sheikh Hasina?
The question is that first of all, since 1984, Dr. Mohammad Yunus, while he was in completing his PhD degree in the USA, he met Clinton family while Bill Clinton was the governor of Arkansas state, and he met the family friend, and he portrayed himself. He is alleviating poverty to the poor women in Bangladesh. So, at first he got connected while Bill Clinton became the president, Hillary Clinton became the Secretary of State. So he day by day becoming more empowered. Once Sheikh Hasina patronized him as well, because there was a summit, 3-day summit held in Washington, D.C., while Hillary Clinton presided one session, Sheikh Hasina, the then Prime Minister, did so another session, and Spain's Queen, Sofia, also conducted another session. Draw the attention to the world to finance Grameen Bank. He misused those funds, as well as he funneled those funds to the Western countries, to the lobbyist firm and such other ways, and make them the friendship. In addition to that, he built Grameen America, the similar model over here as well to give the loan to the poor women over here, and acquiring the same amount of the interest, minimum 18% to 40% interest to the poor women. And he built up $17.5 billion fund over here as well. You could be astonished, which I could send the documents as well, that he has, out of 50 states, 26 states, he have the offices, multiple offices of Grameen America. And he recently expanded it in South America as well. One of the popular actress, Jennifer Lopez is his ambassador too of this organization as well.
Right.
So accumulated these funds, he got the joint venture, multi other companies, financial institutions to the United States, and he is doing manipulating the people with the wrong information. As he got the Nobel Peace Prize, people knows about it, how he did it with the Norwegian Telenor company, one of the Grameen Bank's biggest entity, where Yunus's Grameen Telecom owned 34.2% share.
Right.
And the huge funds, the dividends coming out from that thing. So this guy is spreading those funds to different senators, congressmen, and other areas that easy to manipulate in Western world.
Right.
So that's my feelings. He gave the wrong information, wrong pictures to the West, and he occupied the power illegally, unconstitutionally.
Right.
Being an unelected, illegal power grabber, as a usurper, he is running the country, ruining into a Taliban state or a Jongi state.
But what do we do? But what do we do about it, or what does Bangladesh do about it? The people do about it when an Awami League is banned. The biggest party there is banned. It's nearly 100 of its MPs, ministers are incarcerated. 5,16,000 plus cases have been named. Again, known and named and unnamed people. Barrister and also Mohammad Ali Siddiqui ji, please bear with us and stay with us. Two gentlemen from Bharat have been very patiently listening to all of this, Ambassador Deepak Vora and Dr. Ranganathan. Thank you for your patience, gentlemen. Thank you. But we had to put this story out to say the extent of what's happening. Now, somebody who's got $17.5 billion as funds in Grameen America, as Mohammad Ali Siddiqui, is clearly not a poor, humble person. Many believe he is one of the richest men in the world, although the wealth is undeclared and parked across various entities. He has two citizenships, US and also France. Now, the numbers emerging from independent reports paint a grim picture of targeted violence in Bangladesh. From the 4th of August 2024 to the 20th of August 2024 alone, 2,010 attacks were conducted. From August 21st to December 31st, another 174 attacks, and it didn't stop there. In just the first half of 2025, 258 fresh attacks have been recorded. A clear sign that the danger is not only persisting, it's also spread. Question is, in this environment of banned parties, jail leaders, emboldened radicals, and a judiciary under pressure, can Bangladesh genuinely hold free and fair elections? Ambassador Deepak Vora, and this is all happening in the neighborhood, and next year, Bengal goes to polls.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Always a pleasure to be on your show, to be with India's best anchor. You're wearing a very beautiful jacket. Thank you very much. It looks very nice on you. And then you have Dr. Anand Ranganathan. He's a one-man encyclopedia. You don't need anybody else around. I'm going to have my chai in the evening and relax while I listen to him. We've heard our colleagues from Bangladesh. I've been to that country many times. I'm absolutely in love with that place. My late father was involved in the freedom struggle also. So let me put it to you like this. Two things very quickly, and then over to Dr. Ranganathan. One, the Supreme Court you talked about. Naturally, if somebody had moved the court and said, look, there's no position of chief advisor in the Bangladesh constitution, who on earth is this character? They would have thrown him out. So the judges had to be thrown out and packed with his own chaps. The thing that the Americans do all the time, and Donald Trump is pretty good at doing it, constrained only by the fact in the United States, either you charge sheet the judge and throw him out for something or the other, or wait till the fellow dies and then you appoint somebody else. You appoint your own chair. Second thing that is very interesting, sir. Nobody has ever accused the Pakistanis of being intelligent. Have you heard of a country called Afghanistan? My father's family came from there 600-700 years ago. So I have a little bit of Pashtun blood in me. Remember, there used to be darling, darling, sweetheart, sweetheart, and now they're lobbing missiles at each other. None of the Bangladeshis who's north of 50 or their children have forgotten what happened to their mothers, daughters, sisters, wives when the Pakistanis were unleashing their genocide against the Bengali. So the Bengali is a Bengali first. Very proud of his culture, very superior, very beautiful language, very beautiful literature. Then he's a Bangladeshi and then he's a Muslim. That is my understanding, having been there several times. So what I see is if the Pakistanis are messing around, they are going to be in a lot of trouble very, very quickly. And finally, sir, may I just say that this guy's days are numbered. I even hear rumors, some of my WhatsApp friends are saying that there are 2 aircraft parked on the tarmac, one headed to Singapore, the other to Dubai. We don't know where he's going to run because Bangladesh is burning. On top of that, we had the actual earthquake. So my condolences to those who lost their lives or lost their friends and family in the earthquake that struck 5.7, I think, on the Richter scale. India will, of course, offer to do what we can. We always do that, sir. Yeah. We don't own any grudge. But this man, his shelf life is over. He must go, sir.
Now, I can't show this on television, but this is information further. Dr. Ranganathan, even as we speak, the Chief of Pakistan Navy with 3 entourages, a general from Pakistan Army with 6 entourages, a former member of the Pakistan Parliament, and also advisor to the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Between October and November, all of these people have come surreptitiously into Bangladesh. And along with that, there are others too. There is also somebody who is associated with the JUI in Pakistan, present there. Another Maulana, radical, rabid one, has also entered there. They are being allowed to go ahead and spew their venom vitriol openly. There are also Huji terrorists who are out there and members of the Ansarullah Bangla. They're all banned outfits, but they have a free run and they're openly giving speeches and this is confirmed. I'm not taking the names, but this is confirmed information. It's a free run for radicals and park back stooges in Bangladesh under Mohammad Yunus. Dr. Ranganathan, thank you for your patience.
Not at all. It's a pleasure and an honor, as always, to be on your panel, and especially when it is filled with such exalted names. So I speak here as a layman purely. 4 things. Number one has to, I would say, in the short term at least, congratulate Pakistan. It has, what we could not do, win back Aksai Chin. Pakistan has won back its territory, which was East Pakistan. This is what they always wanted to do. What was broken away from Pakistan has been, at least now, if not through land, through their thinking, through their morality, through their ethics, and through their policies, is being united by this charlatan Yunus, who I have to say, admit as a layman, is fiendishly clever. I mean, he reminds me of one of those Bond villains, you know. And I don't know, I mean, he's always swiveling on a chair, but I don't know whether the pond that surrounds the chair has crocodiles or not. Be that as it may, the fact remains that we were all wondering whether he is, in fact, supporting the jihadis. He turned out to be a jihadi. That is what is so clever about him. If you look at in the last 1 year what he has achieved single-handedly, 2 things. Number one, you see it practically every day, and this is very painful, and that is why I'm proud as a country that we've stood with Sheikh Hasina, because that seems to be the last straw, that last hope of Bangladesh, and that is why they are so desperate to get her. That is why the death sentence has been awarded. That is the reason why, because they just know that if they were to take out Sheikh Hasina, the entire opposition or whatever Bangladesh ever stood for, its history, its creation, will be wiped away like the Iranian Revolution did. And the fact of the matter is, you can see it in the last 1 year, what Pakistan did. It took 50 years. It wiped away our combined history of the subcontinent so that consciously it could look towards the sand dunes of Arabia. So now you talk to any Pakistani child and he would say, well, my origins lie east of or west of my country. They have nothing to do with India. Bangladesh is already demolishing statues of Mujibur Rahman, already taking out from banknotes or every symbol of what created Bangladesh is being slowly wiped out. before our very eyes. And this is what Yunus always wanted, and he's got it. Now, two things, and they are very important as a layman. Is this situation worse than what our other neighbor dishes out to us, Pakistan? No, not yet. So when we can deal with Pakistan, right now we can deal with this Bangladesh.
Yeah,
and I think
but
we have to
here-
have that
no.
mentality.
But-
Otherwise, we will be scared, and we don't want to be opening two fronts right now.
No, but-
and the
but-
final, yeah, sorry.
But sorry, I'm interrupting you, Dr. Nathan. My apologies. It's just
Not
that
at all.
the borders with Bangladesh are far more porous. The amount of
I was coming to
radicals and radicalization, and these entities, if they're getting a free run there, it's a huge security situation, especially with Bangladesh, Bengal going into elections right in the neighborhood there next year.
And this is, yeah, just 30 seconds. And this is where I was coming to the third point.
Yeah.
The difference is that we have really reinforced our border with Pakistan. And right now, despite all our efforts, 500 kilometers of our border with Bangladesh is still unfenced, and 10 districts that cumulatively run 500 kilometers along the Indo-Bangladesh border are now Muslim majority, some of them as much as 80% Muslim. That is the real danger, that infiltration from Bangladesh is going to happen en masse, and SIR or any other thing will not be able to prevent it. So we have to reinforce that border as stringently as we reinforce the India-Pakistan border. Can we do that in a limited time? I think Deepak, you will be able to tell us.
No, but what about those who are already here, and if they are already operating and they want to destabilize the state here so that there is a certain semblance of continuity for the interim advisor in Bangladesh? And look at also what he's doing, trying to talk the same language as a Sharjeel Imam or somebody else, where you're doing the art of triumph and trying to show northeast of Bharat as part of a greater Bangladesh. And this is all radical vitriol. My question, Barrister, is that this entire ICT trial, who's going to challenge this? Who's going to expose the fact that this is a farce, the fact that it's a kangaroo court, and that there has been
Thank
no
you.
right to trial?
I think the most important thing is that I am in an opinion that is this trial has exposed Dr. Yunus and his mantra to the whole world stage. That's why you can see the international community, he was a poster boy of the international community. Right now, the 6 most influential right bodies are saying that is the way you have conducted the trial is a complete farce. See, as a lawyer, we know there is a procedural law, there is substantive law. Okay, you want to prosecute Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Look, in a haste, what they have done, they have made themselves laughable to the whole world stage. You might know Toby Cadman, one of their advisors, a British lawyer who was advising them. Now he's distancing himself from this legal process. Why? Because they haven't even followed the simple procedural law. So if it goes in front of an appellate division, appellate court, a competent and judicious-minded appellate court will have no problem to strike it off within 30 seconds. I'm telling you, the way they have conducted the trial, the way they have constituted the tribunal, the way they have amended the law, it's all just so much force. And without any judicial mindset, they have created it is another example of mob justice. You can just say, this is the Yunus introduction to the world, how mob justice should be run, how mob trial should be run, how through mob justice people should be given whatever sentence you want to give.
Somehow, one individual, how can he have the power? Who's helping him? He's an octogenarian. Does he have the energy to be able to orchestrate all this, Mohammad Ali Siddiqui sahab? Or are there? Or I'm just going to bring in Mr. Mohammad Ali Siddiqui and then come back to you, Barrister. No, who's orchestrating this? Who's helping him in all of this?
As you know, that many medias exposed Dr. Mohammad Yunus's face and his meticulous design, what he did. He himself acknowledged last year to a Clinton Foundation meeting in New York. He said how he designed these issues and how supported the Western friends behind this thing. And he identified one of the masterminds on that stage. Professor Jeffrey Sachs, the professor of Columbia University, he analyzes the Bangladesh, the regime change issues, how deep state conspired behind this scene. Newly elected President Trump, he exposed how funded the what is called this American organization, especially USAID, George Soros Foundation, IRI, NDI, and such other organizations from United States. They did the similar events all over the world.
Right.
I have the statistics, 1978 and onward, 2025, 68 countries regime changes by these deep states policies. Recently, the one of the key players, the director intelligence of the US, Tulsi Gabbard, she mentioned in her speech that they are not going to do such acts furthermore.
Right.
So we could understand easily how these things happen. And many other Western media also exposed the behind this scenario of this game change. I believe, as you asked the first question, how these things going to be turned. The people of Bangladesh and the Western countries, they understood in the meantime how these things happen. So I believe, as Barrister Masood mentioned, 6 international organizations, especially UN, Amnesty International, and such other organizations, condemned this ICT, verdict against popularly elected Sheikh Hasina's government, and how manipulated this court and speedy trial. Within 140 days, this verdict was given. Nothing is accepted to the world, I believe. And Sheikh Hasina challenged, she would like to face the International Criminal Court in Hague. If Yunus have any capacity, go over there, bring charges, and she will face over there. So the people will protect and overturn the Yunus's this autocracy.
Will they, Ambassador Deepak Gora, will that happen? Because do you think free and fair elections are possible without the Awami League, without the biggest party in Bangladesh getting a chance?
No question about it. It will not happen, sir. That's very, very clear. This buffoon wants to stay on for the next 5,000 years as chief advisor. He's an unelected fellow. He's been superimposed. There's no legal sanction for his position. So he doesn't want the elections. He's going to find some reason to do it. Sir, I conclude our 2 colleagues from Bangladesh are much more knowledgeable, but I have a lot of friends there. I've been there many times. I keep going. I see 4 mega trends, and I'll tell you very quickly. One, Sheikh Hasina's fight like hell for her survival. Second, this guy is going to fight for his political survival, for his physical. She will fight for her electoral survival, he for his physical survival. Third, there's an African proverb, when the elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. The people of Bangladesh will suffer. And finally, fourth, if the military finds that matters are getting out of hand, sir, I believe they will step in, sir. And I think they should. And then have elections coming very quickly, sir. That I believe. For once, I'm myself as an Indian, sir, country that has never seen military rule, I am saying I hope they take over there, because what is happening now is worse than a pogrom. It's the worst kind of thing that you can imagine.
But decorated army members are also being shafted. They are also being targeted. Those who have served with UN peacekeeping, and it's all documented here. I'm quoting from sources on the news and also on the Rights Watch. They are coming out and saying rightsrisk.org. They are also saying rightrisks.org. They are also coming out and saying that decorated army officials, army members, and it's mentioned even in the Human Rights Watch, those who have served in the UN peacekeeping force, etc., have been deprived of service and moved out, shafted, and they have been rendered, and they've been replaced with perhaps radicals. And the Bangladesh army itself has 2 sorts: one who backed the Razakars and the Pak army, and the other who backed liberation. And that divide remains. Ji.
I've been your ambassador in 2 countries where we've had UN peacekeeping forces.
Ji.
The most popular and the best are the Indian military, which is amazing. Bangladesh has been there, but they have. So you can't do this kind of radicalization when you're in part of a UN peacekeeping mission. You'll be booted out. There's no question. Secondly, the Americans, if they stop, and they can do it, if they deny Bangladesh the possibility of participating in UN peacekeeping missions, that's a big money earner for Bangladesh. A lot of money, $2,000 per month is paid, apart from the salary. I believe that's the latest figure to the officers and 1,000 or 1,100 to the soldiers. They lose that money. Bangladesh government takes half of that money. We don't. We give it all. So I don't think they're going to mess around. If they do, it would be very stupid. You can get rid of chaps who've been there, but you can't send jihadis in the guise of peacekeepers, sir.
Right. Our job was just to put out some of these issues that there cannot be free and fair elections if the current system is the way things are operating and if this is functioning. And he is not really a peace laureate as he claims to be. That's what the numbers and these directions of the reports that are emanating from Bangladesh actually suggest. But is he the only one, or is there somebody else who's orchestrating all this on his behalf? That's the larger question, and perhaps in the coming days we'll be able to put that out too. I sincerely thank everybody. Thank you very, very much, gentlemen, for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you. Namaste, Dr. Ranganathan. Thank you very much. Ambassador Deepak Vora, Mohammad Ali Siddiqui, and also Barrister Akhtar. Thank you very much. Now, quickly shifting focus to another development, which was a sad, tragic development at the Al Maktoum Airport in Dubai. This was the venue for the Dubai Air Show starting on the 17th of November 2025 to the 21st of November. Today was the last day, and this is a picture of one of the 3 Tejas Mk1s that was participating in there on behalf of Bharat that suddenly crashed. This is the flight. This is one of the pictures where those who are watching this air show from the audience enclave and the galleries were recording this, and they were shocked when this flight suddenly crashed. It just came down on an arc and then crashed. Now this is the other part. Now you see this, a maneuver is happening, and suddenly it crashes. So let's look at this carefully. This is the maneuver. This is the spin of the aircraft, and it is flying upside down. It had been doing these sorties and these maneuvers for a while, for a few days, since 17th. All these 3 had impressed along with the entire Surya Kiran show. That was cancelled because of this, on the last day. Every day they had been performing. This is the aircraft, and there you go. It's flat, it's low, and it's crashed with the belly into the sand, and then it's dragged down for about 400 to 500 feet. All the debris, the pilot not surviving, the air warrior not surviving. There are 2 squadrons of the Tejas fighter, the Flying Bullet and the Flying Dagger. It was a mixed of the 2 squadrons that was sent. We do not know which squadron this aircraft belonged to and the air warrior belonged to. So we'll try and get you that detail. Now let's look at the next set. Plumes of smoke and of course sand, and this is the rescue operations trying to douse the fire quickly, and despite their quick efforts in Dubai, they were unable to save the pilot. But let's try and understand the Tejas timeline. 1983, the LCA project was actually launched to replace the MiG-21. First, 1995, first technology demonstrator rolled out. 2001, the TD-1S, first successful flight. 2007, PV-3 achieved supersonic flight. 2013, first Tejas squadron is planned for the IAF. 2015, first series production aircraft delivered. 2016, number 45 squadron inducted with Tejas jets. 2019, naval variant lands on the INS Vikramaditya. 2021, 48,000 crore deal for 83 Tejas Mk1A jets has been approved. 2025, Tejas Mk1A takes a maiden sortie. Overall, 40 aircrafts right now with the Indian Air Force, 2 squadrons, 18 aircrafts each. But this is that slow-mo picture where at in about 6-7 seconds you see a flash, you see the cockpit shining in the sun, and then also the top of the body of the aircraft shining with the reflection of the sun. That means there was a maneuver happening. This was a maneuver, and that's where you see that flash. You see the flash and then the top of the aircraft. Now this is the underbelly, and there you go. See, did you see the aircraft? If you see it closely, it's actually doing a roll. It's doing a spin, a roll, and then it rolls back straight up, and that's when it crashes. So, but the aircraft didn't stall. The machine, the engines were on. Air Vice Marshal Nitin Vaidya, ATC expert, is with us, and Group Captain MJ Vinod also with us. My namaste and Jai Hind. Thank you very much. Sad turn of events, but Air Vice Marshal, your thoughts on what could have happened?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, it's a very sad accident that has happened, and my heart goes out to not just the bereaved family, but the entire Indian Air Force, because that was what the Indian Air Force was doing in terms of showcasing its prowess in front of the entire world. And that it happened at an air display, although it may not have happened, although it is something that is not unprecedented, but obviously it should have been completely not happened, or I won't say avoidable, because I'm not too certain as to what the inputs for the court of inquiry would be. But looking at the fact that Tejas aircraft has been flying for nearly a decade in the Air Force, and it has been flying virtually unblemished, except for the accident that happened in Jaisalmer, that too on a technical fault, I am quite confident that irrespective of what the uh, uh, what has actually happened in terms of accident and what the world has seen, the aircraft is a very robust and a stable aircraft, has done wonders in the previous, not only the exercises, but also the air displays that has taken part. So this it requires investigation, and whatever comes out of it in terms of rectification, should there be anything, I'm sure the Air Force would take it on board and ensure that such things do not happen in the future.
Right. Vice Marshal, if you could see our screens, and we just put out the fourth video that was slow-moed and circled, the aircraft actually does a spin. There's one spin, there's a second spin, and that's when it's going dangerously close down. It's going down, and then it just turns over just 2 seconds before the belly crashes into the into the sands there. Any thoughts there, Group Captain MJ Vinod? What could have happened? Because the engine doesn't stall, you could still hear the thunder of the boosters and the of the aircraft. There is no sign of fire. There is no sign of anything that's happened, but it just goes crash into the earth.
Yeah. So let me break it down, Anand. And the moment it happened, I remember calling you to tell you that this has happened.
Yes, I was on air at that time. Yeah.
I know. So, see, a couple of things. Let's break it down for the viewers. First and foremost, with the available information of visual information and the sound information, we are breaking it down. Of course, we need to wait for the official confirmation to come. But in the yesteryears, I'm a trained accident investigator. In the yesteryears, or when you don't find FDR, the only available information with which you go on with your inquiry is a visual and the sound information.
Right.
So, and any air accident investigator is trained to do that. So with that as the backdrop, I'm saying this without hazarding any guess. Let's look at the maneuver, like you were explaining on the TV screen so beautifully, of the fighter pilot yourself.
My knowledge is very limited. Thank you. Please go ahead, please.
So that maneuver that Tejas does is a very typical signature maneuver, which only Tejas does, which is called the negative G split. How does the negative G split work? Is that the aeroplane shows you a face like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever an aeroplane shows you a face like this, you assume the aeroplane will turn towards you. But actually, in a negative G split, the aeroplane turns away from you. It's a combat maneuver to fool the enemy pilot. It's a typical maneuver only Tejas does. So after the negative G turn, he does a split maneuver, which is called the barrel roll. You were calling it.
Yeah, the barrel roll. Yeah.
It is called, yeah. So the barrel roll, and he recovers from the barrel roll. It's such a beautiful maneuver to see. So at the entry, the nose is towards the podium or the spectators, but the aeroplane turns away and does a split. So it's very beautiful to watch. It is like an aerial ballet.
Yeah.
So that is as far as a maneuver is concerned. Secondly, and most importantly, and I've been stationed in Badmer for 6 years almost, flying in this desert terrain for hundreds of sorties, carrying out such maneuvers in real life scenario, carrying out strafing and bombing very, very close to the ground. So in the morning, you go drop a bomb or do a strafing run. But in the afternoon, when you go, the mush is very, very high. Now, let me explain the mush to the viewers.
Yeah, just 1 second. Just quickly mentioning that Raksha Mantri has also tweeted, deeply anguished at the loss of a brave and courageous IAF pilot during the aerial display in the Dubai Air Show. My heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family. The nation stands firmly with the family in this tragic hour. Now, officially, viewers, how it works is we have to inform the family and then take the permission of the family whether or not the identity and the photograph of the air warrior should be divulged before that is released by the Indian Air Force, and also whether or not which squadron he was a part of, because I'm given to understand that that squadron where this incident took place, all the aircrafts will now be under scrutiny, and that squadron will be grounded until the entire court of inquiry is over and thorough inspection of the other aircrafts of that squadron are not completed, either that squadron or that batch of the Tejas MK1s. Yes, Group Captain MJ Vinod, please complete. Yeah, the musk.
Okay, so the mush I was talking about, mush is, what is the mush? We need to understand, the viewers need to understand mush very clearly. When the aeroplane initiates the pull-out, like you correctly explained it on the screen, the nose comes up. As a pilot, I see the sky and only the sky.
Right.
All right? And but the aeroplane continues to descend before it starts to climb.
Right.
So from the time the nose has come up to the time it actually starts to climb is a finite time.
Yeah.
In that finite time, the aeroplane is actually nose up but descending.
Right.
So that is the mush. The mush is a function of two things, Anand. One is the rate at which you pulled out. Secondly, the density of the air. That is where the afternoon temperatures of the desert region kicks in. You know, I used to come and strafe in the morning, go back, come for another strafing run in the afternoon.
Right.
And you could feel the mush in the afternoon because the air of the same region at higher temperatures has become thinner. So that is the variable which a pilot cannot see. So when he did the barrel roll and recovered, I'm sure he did exactly the same thing in the morning. But in the second run, the thinner air probably got to the pilot, and that is the danger we live with, Anand, in the low-level aerobatics.
Right. So we'll have
It has no reflection on Tejas. I'm telling you, people can Google it. In the history of aviation of the world, no single-engine fighter enjoys the same safety record as a Tejas.
As a Tejas does. I totally agree, but we'll have to wait before we can make our assumptions based on the visual evidence, but we'll have to go by what the Court of Inquiry says. Have completely run out of time. I thank both of you gentlemen for your time. Thank you very much. Namaste. Jai Hind.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Now, as the probe into the Delhi blast, we're shifting our focus now, as this probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger, more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Investigations now reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, who also is known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and a key aide of Umar Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator, also accused of providing technical support. This includes the drone modification for a Hamas-style attack and attempts to build rocket-based bombs. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Jawad Ahmad Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al Falah University, in a money laundering case as well. As you know, when it comes to the Al Falah University, when it comes to its records, its accreditation, its finances, there is a lot to unpack. There a lot remains unanswered when it comes to that as well. The arrest follows evidence which was gathered during the recent searches at locations connected to this entire terror module. Now, CNN has also accessed order which is sending the Al Falah owners to 13 days ED custody, as I just told you. the founder of the Al Falah University, is in custody. Saket Court says his custodial interrogation is imperative to unearth the larger terror ecosystem, the Al Falah ecosystem. Saket Court also noted that the ED's submission that only a small part of Al Falah ecosystem has been identified till now. And they've also said that his family members are in the Gulf and he might flee the country as well. So that is a threat that remains. However, the owner has been sent into 13 days custody and that remains imperative. He is a very, very crucial link here. As you know, Al Falah was truly at the center of all the terror that was emerging from this university, and we're yet to uncover what was really going on behind the scenes. For more on this, we have with us Ananya. Thank you so much for joining us, Ananya. We really are learning more and more about this Al Falah University. It only goes to show how far and wide this entire network had spread.
Well, absolutely. In fact, this is a big breakthrough that the Enforcement Directorate had as far as the funding of the Al Falah University is concerned. And the Al Falah Trust owner was actually taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate yesterday. And a 13-day police custody remand was granted after he was produced late last night before, in fact, the additional sessions judge at the Saket Court. And very important to highlight is that the court has noticed that not only his family members are in the Gulf, but there is a big risk that he might flee the country. And that's the reason why custodial interrogation is necessary. Not only that, a small chunk, the Enforcement Directorate says and tells the court that a small chunk of the Al Falah ecosystem, which amounts to over 415 crores, is something, that has been uncovered, and it could be much larger in nature, and that is why his custodial interrogation is necessary, since he's somebody who knows about all the financial roots of the Al Falah Trust and the kind of funding that comes through the Al Falah University. And that's the reason why, in fact, this particular person needs to be in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate. 13 days of police custody remand is what has been granted. 14 days was actually sought. And that is something, that makes it very, very imperative as to what was this university actually in reality. Was it, in fact, a terror funding ecosystem? Was it a university that was fueling terror, or whether there are much more than what meets the eye, is something that could be uncovered by this multi-agency probe that is being carried out by, in fact, the Enforcement Directorate, the National Investigation Agency, and obviously the Faridabad and the Delhi Police itself.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Now, as the probe into the Delhi blast, we're shifting our focus now, as this probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger, more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Investigations now reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, who also is known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and a key aide of Umar Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator, also accused of providing technical support. This includes the drone modification for a Hamas-style attack and attempts to build rocket-based bombs. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Jawad Ahmad Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al Falah University, in a money laundering case as well. As you know, when it comes to the Al Falah University, when it comes to its records, its accreditation, its finances, there is a lot to unpack. A lot remains unanswered when it comes to that as well. The arrest follows evidence which was gathered during the recent searches at locations connected to this entire terror module. Now, CNN has also accessed order which is sending the Al Falah owners to 13 days ED custody, as I just told you. The founder of the Al Falah University is in custody. Saket Court says his custodial interrogation is imperative to unearth the larger terror ecosystem, the Al Falah ecosystem. Saket Court also noted that the ED's submission that only a small part of Al Falah ecosystem has been identified till now. And they've also said that his family members are in the Gulf and he might flee the country as well. So